lifestyle inflation. What is lifestyle inflation?
Yes. As we're earning more money, we're spending more money. And that isn't necessarily a good or bad thing if you're doing it intentionally.
So, Talia, we are so excited to have you back to continue on all the things that we are not remembering or that we're ignoring when it comes to our finances.
Yes. And these ones are good. These ones are good.
Okay, so if you haven't seen the first set, go watch those.
Yes.
But let's get into it.
Exactly. Let's do it.
So, Talia, you mentioned, with inflation, what we were able to buy with $100 5 years ago is different than what we can buy with $100 today.
Yes.
So tell me more about lifestyle inflation. What is lifestyle inflation?
Yes. Lifestyle inflation is, let's think back when maybe we had a different position or a different career. And we said, okay, this is like for me. I said, okay, Talia, if I was to make X amount of money per hour more, that would solve all my problems. I would pay all my debt. Now, fast forward, I make that, but then my life is like, oh no, now I need more money. Why? It's that lifestyle inflation. As we're earning more money, we're spending more money. And that isn't necessarily a good or bad thing if you're doing it intentionally.
Okay.
What does that mean is sometimes we see perceived luxuries as necessities. I have to have this. My neighbor has this car. I have to get that car. My sister has this type of iPad. I have to get this type of iPad. It's kind of like keeping up with the Joneses. Okay. Have you heard that?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. We all have. Yes. We live in America. Of course, we've heard of that. Yeah.
So making sure, like I said, it's not bad if it's intentional, but making sure you're being mindful because let's say you have a certain lifestyle and let's say you lose your job. Now, your options of finding a new job are very narrow. Why? Because you've limited yourself to that lifestyle. So making a change is gonna be that much harder. Okay. So keep that in mind. It's not a bad thing if it's intentional, but making sure that you're understanding what you're getting yourself into.
Okay, so one example, and correct me if I'm wrong here, right? Let's say I move into a new neighborhood with a bigger house, but then in this new neighborhood, people have boats. They're going on vacations every week. So now I feel like I have to do that. So that's my lifestyle being inflated.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So something different.
You may not even like going to the lake and using a boat, but because everybody in the neighborhood has it, you don't want to feel like the kid that's being left out.
Okay.
So you kind of start to think, or your perception is, I need a boat. I don't know squat about boats, but I need a boat. So, yes, a very good example.
Okay.
And right on.
Yeah. And I think, marketers are really good at this too, right? Like, hey, this is on sale. You have to have it. You got to get it now, right?
Yes.
So just being mindful of all of the messages that we're getting of, hey, this person says you've got to have this for happiness, when as long as we're mindful of it and it does bring us happiness, it's awesome.
Exactly.
But just making sure we're paying attention to that.
Yes, I really like that you brought that up because marketing is straight. I mean, to the point, to the T. They know exactly what they're doing, and they're always going to try to use our emotions so we can make those purchases. So keep and be very mindful of that.
It is something, though, now that, you're bringing it to my attention, that it's easy to just have everything that we've always wanted now become needs, right? And in reality, we've got to keep that in check, right?
Yes.
As we continue to... our lifestyle will evolve.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
Now, speaking of lifestyles, not necessarily of the rich and famous, but of all of us here that have to pay taxes.
Girl, yes. Yes. Taxes. Tax season is right around the corner.
Yes. What are we forgetting about or ignoring when it comes to taxes?
Yes. There's a few accounts that can help with our taxes. They're tax deductible, or they can provide tax advantage benefits. For example, 401k. Oftentimes, when you have a 401k, it's set up through your employer.
Yeah.
Which means, take advantage of that free money. What do I mean by free money? Is the employer matches. Some companies offer really good employer matches, making sure that you're taking advantage of that, even if it's 1%. I remember I went to a presentation when we were talking about 401k, and the lady's like, they're saying they're taking money from my check. And it took us a while to kind of really help her understand, yes, but it's before taxes. So it actually lowers your overall taxable income, as well as helps you save money for retirement, plus your employer matches that.
Yes.
So there's all sorts of really good benefits for your 401k. That's just one type of account.
Okay.
The other type of account is HSAs or FSAs. So health savings accounts or your flexible savings account. I always have to make sure I get those right. But again, you contribute to these typically with pre-tax dollars.
Okay.
So it, again, lowers your overall income, and they may be tax deductible.
Okay.
So keep that in mind. And this is only helping yourself. This is only benefiting you. The last one I'll mention is the Dependent Care FSA. And I know you know quite a bit on this one.
Yes.
Yeah, share.
I love the Dependent Care FSA. You know, as a full-time working mom, I've had to have care for my babies, right, since they were 3 months old. And so being able to contribute whatever amount I can towards this account and then use that to help pay for their care.
Exactly.
And it's tax-free.
Exactly.
Right? So again,
Plus,
to your point, you're saving because your overall income that you're taxed on is lowered.
Yes.
But then you're also able to use those tax dollars. So
Yes.
I swear by the Dependent Care FSA.
Yes.
Up and down,
Up
right?
and down.
If you have dependents, there's no reason why you should not have this account.
Yes.
Yes.
And in addition to that, paying for childcare, it can also be used for like summer day camps that I didn't know about.
Yes.
Like plus win-win.
Yeah.
And after school programs, especially for us working moms, right?
Yes,
So
absolutely. Yep.
absolutely take advantage of this.
Yeah, any working parents. My only negative thing I'll say about Dependent Care FSAs is that they don't let you contribute enough.
Yeah.
$5,000 a year goes real fast, but that's okay.
There's those
That's okay.
limits.
We'll
Anything
take it.
to do
Yes.
with the IRS, right?
Yes.
There's limits for everything.
Exactly.
But yes, making sure you're taking advantage of those tax benefit accounts. Again, 401ks, HSAs, FSAs, and of course, the Dependent Care FSA.
Yes.
So,
And tell me too, because as a mom, I've also heard about 529 plans.
yes.
So tell us about those, because those potentially have tax benefits.
Yes, those may also be tax deductible.
Okay.
Another awesome thing to know is it is funded through the state. It's an investment account funded through the state. It's a savings account that basically helps you put money away for higher education.
Okay.
There are some things that you can use from like K through 12. Again, there's a full list on the IRS website, but I mean, who wouldn't want to have some extra money for like tuition, fees, book, and even internet access? I didn't know that one. That one's a good one.
I didn't know that either.
Yes.
Because we all have to have that for school these
Now
days.
it's a necessity.
Right?
Now it's a necessity.
It is. Dang it. It's one of those lifestyle inflations. Internet.
Exactly.
Good grief.
There you go. We're making full circle here.
We are. So in addition, as we're talking about savings, tell me more about what we're forgetting when it comes to mid to long-term savings.
This one's my favorite because I can preach on this all day long. So first and foremost, there's two types of savings.
Okay.
The first one is saving for uncertainty. What does this mean? This means we are saving for things that we don't know may come up. For example, we don't plan, hey, on Friday at 3 p.m., I'm going to get in an accident, right? That just doesn't happen. But if something like that does happen, and let's say we have to be in the hospital for 2 weeks, we have that extra savings that can help us get through those extra 2 weeks that we're in the hospital.
Okay. Is that our emergency fund?
Yes.
Is that where that comes in?
Yes, yes. It's part of the emergency fund. Again, for hospitals, anything that we don't necessarily plan for. For example, COVID.
Right.
Nobody, nobody, the whole world didn't plan for this. Right. And unfortunately, during that time, some family and friends might have lost their jobs.
Right.
And some of them didn't have that emergency savings to where it was an unfortunate situation, right? And they had to go in and get loans and things like that. But it's important to have that savings for uncertainty. And then the second savings is for financial success.
Okay.
Saving for financial success means sooner or later this year, I know these things are going to happen. For example, a lot of us forget that Christmas happens December 25th on the dot every single year.
Yes.
But some of us don't realize that until we're done eating Thanksgiving dinner and we're like, oh, shoot, now we got to go spend all this money that I didn't save for or I don't have on Black Friday shopping or Christmas gifts, right?
Yeah, or all these holiday things we weren't planning, events, all the things.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's important that you're saving for financial success, which means you're saving because you know these things are going to happen sooner or later this year. Okay. Another good example that I like to bring up is car maintenance. If you own a car, you know sooner or later your car is going to need that oil change.
Yeah.
Right? So saving for financial success is saving for the things that you know are going to happen sooner or later in a given year.
Okay.
Save for uncertainty, for things that we don't know may come up. That is our emergency savings. And then saving for financial success, saving for the things that we know are going to happen.
Okay.
Another super quick example that I have is gifts, holidays. Me and my family, I'm the oldest of 6. So we have a siblings chat going and we know, okay, the first birthday is in April. Darian, my brother, he already sends us the list. Okay, this is what I want for my birthday. And that's kind of an expectation for us. We kind of get each other small gifts for our birthday, but we know it's something that's going to come up. So I plan and prepare for those types of situations.
Okay, I love that.
Yeah.
So all of those birthdays that
all
come
of the
up.
birthdays.
Yeah, I have 34
and the holidays.
nieces and nephews. I love you all, but good grief.
Yes.
I need to better plan for those gifts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
all right.
exactly.
Okay.
Another thing I will mention with mid and long-term goals is there's different types of goals. There's short-term goals, which is anything from 6 months to 1 year, anything that you want to accomplish between that time frame. Then we have midterm goals, which is anything from 1 year to 5 years.
Okay.
And then anything from 5 years plus is considered a long-term goal.
Okay.
It's important that we budget for anything that we want to accomplish in that short amount of time. For example, a financial goal that would fit that time frame would be, again, depending on the balance of their credit card, would be to pay off your credit card.
Okay.
An example of a midterm financial goal would be paying off your auto loan. Typically, those are financed from anywhere to 3 to 5 years. So that would fit that category. And then anything that you are planning for a long-term goal, we recommend that you invest. Create a savings account that you're investing in because, again, the probability of having a positive return increases the longer you're in the market, meaning those 5 or plus years.
Okay, awesome. So just keep that in mind as we're creating those goals. Yes. I love that. And have different accounts accordingly, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The other thing I will mention, I know I lied. I said I had one thing, but another thing that comes up is oftentimes we have one nice savings account that we're just putting everything in. It's just one. But what we like to recommend is that we have several different savings accounts and that you're naming them something specific. For example, me and my family have never gone to Disneyland. So something that we planned last year, or maybe like 2 years ago now, is we want to go to Disneyland in 2023. So what I had everybody do is create a secondary savings account that's named Disneyland 2023. And then we have automatic saving transfers going to that account.
How awesome.
And we know, okay, our time is getting closer and closer. So we have the option to increase that savings a little bit. But we know if anything comes up, or for example, I'm wanting something that I don't necessarily have enough in my checking, it's going to take me 5 to 10 minutes to even think about, do I want to dip into that Disneyland trip?
Right.
And I will not. I will not. So it kind of creates that additional thinking time that you need to activate your rational brain and say, nope, I value that Disney trip that's coming up way too much to dip in and withdraw money from that for something that's, I don't know, like a Starbucks coffee or something.
Right. Well, and it requires you to use your emotions too, right? You're emotionally invested in that Disneyland trip with your family and making those memories.
Yes.
Not worth that, whatever you might want in the moment.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I love that.
I highly recommend those secondary savings accounts with specific names. If you're saving for if you're saving for an auto loan or for a new car, say 2025, I know I'm into the future now, but 2025 Mazda, whatever car that you're looking for, but put the year, make, and model so you're emotionally invested in that savings account.
Okay, I love that. How cool. Yes. Love that. So obviously, short-term, mid-term, long-term goals, maybe even longer term, well, depending on your age, retirement.
Yes.
What do we need to be thinking about, or what are we ignoring when it comes to our retirement savings?
With retirement, that's a huge one. The first thing that I will mention, or the very important thing that I always like to mention when somebody asks me about retirement, is begin saving now.
Okay.
Regardless if you are 18, 20, 50, save now. Why? Because the longer you save, or the more time you have to save, the better.
Yeah.
One thing I do want to mention is if you're asking yourself, for example, do I have enough to retire? What type of lifestyle do I want to have when I retire? Do I have certain health issues that I need to take care of when I retire? What is that going to look like? I strongly recommend that you work with a professional financial advisor. They are going to be able to take all of your information, take all of your personal needs, and give you a personalized plan on what's going to work for you.
Yes.
Because what works for you may not work for me, may not work for your husband, right? So it's everything is different. So making sure that you're taking that time, that investment, making sure that you're investing in yourself by meeting with a professional financial advisor. Keep in mind, you do want to come prepared with some questions, some answers to some of those questions that I just asked a little bit earlier. You need to have some clear goals defined for yourself. You want to be able to determine, okay, this is how old I am, and this is when I'm looking to retire, because it's going to give them a better picture. Another thing to keep in mind is, again, do not procrastinate in starting to save today. It's really going to make a difference on whether you start today or you start in a year. It's going to make a big difference.
Okay, so just like we should have planted the tree yesterday, right? We should have saved for retirement yesterday. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
100%.
You mentioned working with a professional, but anything else that we're forgetting when it comes to retirement?
So it's not 100% tied to retirement. It can be used as a retirement tool, but it's robo apps. So robo investment apps. It's basically an application that you download. It asks you a series of questions as far as how often you're going to contribute to the account, how much, and how long you plan to stay in the market. And it really helps you as another type of investment account to help you for retirement or for anything else.
Yeah.
So make sure you're checking those out. There's a lot out there.
So something to look into with your advisor. Okay.
Exactly.
Love it. Okay. So Talia, as we're closing out here, I know that you've got another message for our community out there. What do you want to say?
Yes. I don't know if a lot of you guys may know this, but I hablo español.
Yes.
Y un mensaje que le tengo a la comunidad hispana o que habla español es que nosotros tenemos recursos en español. Tenemos varios sitios en español ahora. Uno de los sitios que me gustaría mencionar es el sitio de recursos educativos, donde puede aprender más información sobre el crédito, cómo hacer un presupuesto, cómo comenzar a ahorrar. Y ese sitio es macu.com/recursos educativos. Y la segunda es macu.com/español. Ahí va a encontrar toda nuestra información en español. Así que no se olvide visitar todos esos sitios.
Well, Talia, thank you so much for helping us remember or maybe learning all of those things that a lot of us are forgetting about.
Yes.
Yeah. And obviously, we love having you on the podcast. So thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
And thanks to all of you for joining us as well. And we will see you on the next episode of Guiding You Forward.